Hello and welcome to you all, and today we are going to discuss solid design principles. Whenever we talk about mobile application design, we always try to follow one of the best guidelines available to design our software components. And no matter which design pattern we are going to choose according to our situation, we always need to follow these 5 basic principles for the software designing. So without wasting time, let's start discussing solid design principles today. So all these 5 principles are collectively known as solid design principles, and they are proposed by American software engineer and instructor Robert C. Martin, but better known as Uncle Bob. We will divide this tutorial into 2 parts. In first part, we will try to understand each and every design principle in depth, and in second part, we will try to implement it with the help of an coding example. First design principle is single responsibility design principle, and this principle states that whatever module you are going to design in your application must be having only single responsibility. And this module could be your class, could be your function, could be your protocol, but they always dedicated to complete a single purpose in your application. There is another way also to state this principle, which says that there should be only and only one reason to change your module in your application. So whenever in your application you are in need to change a module, then there should be only one reason to change that particular module. And if you are in the condition that there could be multiple reasons to change your class or your protocol or your function, then definitely you are violating the single responsibility principle, and you should avoid that. O stands for the second design principle in this collection, and this is open close principle. This principle states that your classes should be open for the extension but closed for the modification. What does it mean? It means that you need to design your software components in such a way that every time when a new requirement comes in, you need not to change that particular single component or the single class every time, but you can extend them, and through which you can accommodate the new requirement, but the single class should not be disturbed every time against the new requirement. So this is the open close principle. Right now what we are doing is we are trying to understand the description of each and every principle, and once you will implement them practically with the help of the code, you will get the better understanding. L in the solid represent the third design principle, that is Liskov substitution principle. This principle states that child classes should never break the functionality of their parent classes. You can extend a class, you can override a class, but you should do this thing in such a way that they never break the functionality of their parent class. So fourth design principle is the interface segregation principle, and this principle states that nobody should be looking fat. Just joking. So it's just a way to understand this principle. Basically, this principle describes that you should design your protocol and interfaces in such a way that they should not become fat ultimately. What does it mean? It means you should separate your protocols in terms of the logical requirements, where each and every protocol is dedicated to only a single logical purpose. In that way, you can create so many lightweighted protocols, but they are dedicated to single purpose only. There should be no mix-up of 2 requirements into single protocol. And this is the interface segregation principle. One more benefit of interface segregation principle is whenever you separate your protocols in terms of the logical requirement, then you can ultimately group them to form the new protocol structure. And whenever a particular type is conforming to a protocol, then he is not restricted to use such methods that are not required to them, because you are right now having the protocols that are dedicated to single purpose. So every time when this purpose is required for a particular type, then that protocol should be confirmed by that particular type. Now we come to the last principle in this collection, that is dependency inversion principle, and this principle states that none of your high-level modules should be dependent upon the low-level modules. This means that you should be designing your application in such a way that all of your application modules should be loosely coupled. The benefit of this purpose is whenever you want to use your high-level module in any other place, in any other program or in any other application, you can easily reuse them because they are not closely coupled with other modules and they are logically separated. So reusability is one of the biggest benefit of the dependency inversion principle. Till now you have already understood all the solid design principles conceptually, and now it's time for the example. For the sake of simplicity and understanding, we are using some function skeleton here, but still this example would be able to make you understand the basic concept. As an example of single responsibility principle, we are having here a view controller in which we are having three private functions. First function is responsible here for fetching the data from the API. Second function is responsible for parsing the data that is received from the API and converting it into the required format. And third function is saving that data into the database. So basically you can observe this particular view controller is having three responsibilities. And if there is any requirement of change occurs, then there could be three probable reasons for the change in this particular view controller class. So now it is violating the single responsibility principle. So simplest solution for this problem is we can create three dedicated classes for three dedicated responsibilities. For example, we can create an API manager that is responsible for requesting the data from the API. We can create a class conversation factory that is responsible for parsing the data that is received from the API, and after that it can convert the received data into the required format. And we can create one more class as the database manager that is having only single responsibility to saving that data into the database. And inside our view controller, we can combine all the logic with the help of this single function and with the help of these dedicated classes. Now your view controller is responsible for binding all the logic of fetching the data from the API and parsing it and then saving it into the database. And all these three classes are having their three dedicated responsibility. So now there is a very clean separation of the responsibility among your classes. So with this example, you should not be getting the impression that every time whenever we have a logical separation as a single form of the unit, then we must be creating a new class for that purpose. The overall objective is for a single logical purpose, you must be having a single module only. So logically, here you can separate the responsibility into three parts, and that's why we have created three separate classes. And similarly, you can create the functions also. So even if a function is responsible for completing multiple responsibility at a time, then somewhere it is violating the single responsibility principle. So try to avoid these kind of situations. So as an example of open close principle, we are having our logger class. This logger class contains a function print errors that can print the network error objects whenever received. Now see the structure of the network error class. These are the two properties. On the basis of that, you have implemented your function that can print, or you can say that can log the network errors. Now after some time, there comes a new requirement that same logger class should be able to print application error objects also. Now what will you do? You will add one more parameter and you will make this function able to print two type of objects. Now imagine a situation, there comes a new error object again, and same logger class should be used for printing that error object also. So again there will be modification in the same function and in the same logger class. So every time you can observe here is there is a cycle, a new requirement is coming in and you are modifying your class every time. So here we are violating the open close design principle. The basic idea behind protecting our classes against frequent modification is lesser the number of modification, then lesser the number of the bugs produced. So we have observed a situation in previous example that where we are violating the open close design principle, and now as a solution we can see the second example. Same situation can be handled with the help of the protocol oriented design pattern. So we can create a protocol printable that is having a function print details, and we can create a generic kind of function in the logger class that can print the object of the any class that is following the printable protocol. Now here you can see the difference. This class will never be getting modified against the new requirement. So whenever a new error class comes in, for example application error,
then they must follow the printable protocol only, and your logger class would be automatically be able to print those errors for you. So no matter how many error objects coming as a new, they must be following the printable protocol only, and your logger class would be able to print them without any frequent modification. So this was the solution of the previous situation, and now we are obeying open close design principle properly. As the example of Liskov substitution principle, we are having a protocol data manager in which we are having two functions, read and write, and we are having three classes: disk rel manager, disk core data manager, and in-memory rel manager that is following this data manager protocol. Now these two methods are completely applicable to two of the classes, like disk rel manager can read the data from the disk and can write the data from the disk again. And similarly for the disk core data manager, read and write functions are applicable because it can read the data from disk and write it back to the disk again. But in-memory rel manager cannot apply the write function. So we are somewhere confirming the protocol data manager, but the write function is not applicable to the in-memory rel manager class. So we are breaking the functionality of the parent class or parent protocol data manager. So for the solution of this situation, what we can do is we can create two separate protocol, readable and writable, that are having single function only. In readable we are having the read function, and in writable we are having the write function. So suppose if these two classes can apply the read and the write function, then this class will confirm readable and writable protocol both. And if the in-memory rel manager cannot use the write function, then it will confirm only the readable protocol. So in that way, nowhere we are breaking the functionality of our parent class. And benefit of this methodology is nowhere accidentally any of the functionalities exposed to the user or application that could be accidentally break down. For the example of interface segregation principle, we are having a deep link message protocol. This protocol is having two functions, show in image viewer and show in video viewer. So what this protocol do is, it is containing two functions, and according to the data received of the deep link message, it displays that deep link message either into the image viewer or into the video viewer. And we are having two dedicated classes for this purpose. One is image viewer and second is video viewer, that is confirming this protocol. Now what is the problem in this implementation? One problem is when these two functions are imposed on each and every class, then there comes a situation that either of the function is non-reusable for the class. For example, show in video viewer is of no use for the image viewer class, and similarly show in image viewer is not applicable, or you can say not usable, for the video viewer class. Because of no logical separation into our protocol design, these two clients are imposed to implement these two methods every time. And similarly, if there could be various other functions also in this protocol that are logically for different purpose, then ultimately this protocol will become fat because there is no logical separation in this protocol. So for the solution of this problem, what we can do is we can divide our single protocol into two logically separated protocols. So one could be deep link image message and another one could be deep link video message, that is having only one function that is applicable according to the logical condition. So image viewer can adopt only deep link image message protocol and video viewer can adopt the deep link video message protocol. Now none of the client is imposed the additional method that is not required to it. So you are having two light-weighted protocols and none of your class is having any of the method that is non-reusable for them. So this is the interface segregation principle implementation. Dependency inversion principle is completely dedicated to remove the dependencies from your application. So it works in such a way that it could reduce the dependency among your software components so they become more and more reusable. As an example, we are having a data controller class and a core data controller class. that is having a function that save the data to the core data. Now inside our data controller class, we are having a variable database that is object of the core data controller, and in the function save to db inside the data controller class, we are using that object. So this object is saving data to the core data. Now imagine a situation that you need to reuse this data controller class in some other application, but now requirement is in that application you have to use the Realm database. Now in this current implementation, can you think of using this data controller class or the code immediately into our new application? No, you need to make some changes because your data controller is closely bound to the core data controller and it is having dependency on it. And dependency inversion principle is all about reducing these kind of dependencies inside your code. So your data controller is the high level module and your database class is the low level module. And in previous example, you have observed that your high level module, that is data controller, is dependent upon the low level module, that is database class, your data controller class. So according to the dependency inversion principle, we have to find a way of writing this particular implementation in such a way that this dependency could be reduced and you can use your data controller independently anytime, anywhere, without having any dependency on the particular database. So one solution of this situation is you can create a protocol database, and whatever class that is you are using in your application for managing the database should follow this protocol. And when your class will follow this protocol, then it will be implementing this save to database method. Now inside your data controller, you will be creating the object of this database protocol. Now any of the class object that is following this database protocol can work as a variable of the database, and it is having a function save to database. So anytime if you are required to save the data into the database, then you can directly call the save to database method of this database object. Now your data controller class is independent of the core data controller implementation. It is a kind of generic implementation that any of the object that is following the database protocol can work inside it. And now you can use this particular section anywhere application. So the dependency has been reduced. And this was the example of the dependency inversion principle. Now Uncle Bob will be really very happy because I know you will be following all the solid design principles while doing your programming. And this was the end of this session. For any feedback, suggestion and the query, do not forget to use comment box and I will be always available for you. Till next session, keep learning, stay motivated and happy learning.